Yes, so today we are going to start from the elasticity of supply. So before starting this, again, tell me if you have any query of my yesterday's class. Do you have any problem with my yesterday's class anywhere? Do you have any problem from anywhere? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Okay, fine.
I have a problem, ma'am. I found a term from Pindiak that cyclical industries. Is it in our syllabus?
No.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in the part income elasticity of demand,
Yes.
in there, in the previous class, for luxury goods it is greater than one.
Yes.
You said something for the people who save.
Yes.
Ma'am, I didn't get that properly. The savings
No.
part.
No, no, look, actually the thing is, it is your view, huh? It is the view of the person that how he is enjoying the luxury. I'm saying about the double door fridge, you may say no, it is the savings. Another one may say that no, it is the charity. So anything, it depends on your view that how you want to enjoy that increase in income. Okay, but what happened, for example, okay, let me explain in terms of savings first. Those who are going to save more when their income, say your income has increased by 20%, and you are, I'm telling you that if it is a luxury good, then your savings will be increased by more than 20%. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
and now the thing is, if you're for example, if you consider it from the other side, that if your income is falling by 20%, that is also true for the luxury good, na? Then the consumption of luxury good, that will be fall by more than 20%, because it is not necessary for your life. Okay, I think that is the
Yes.
easier way to understand. So
Yes.
you will reduce your demand drastically for the luxury goods, that you can.
Yes.
So now, whether it is savings, whether it is NSE certificate, whether it is bond paper, whether it is traveling to the foreign country, it is your decision. But the thing which is not necessary for your life, you can change your demand, whether increase or decrease drastically. It is not so important for your life.
So, ma'am, here savings can be considered as improving the standard of life in some sense.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, ma'am.
No, no, someone, we are saying that that person has, the say a person is a priority customer for any bank. You know, there is a sort of people who are considered as a priority customer. Basically, they have a lot of savings in that branch. Okay, so they are getting some benefit from that branch. The people are coming in the home and taking all the signatures and everything. So they are giving some special facility. You are the priority customer. So that is his luxury. You can consider, okay, we are watching that person, oh, that person is a priority customer, that means he has a lot of money. So okay, this is how he is enjoying his luxury. So you can understand, na? So there are different views. It depends on your idea, that how you are defining your luxury.
Okay.
Any other question?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so anyone else who wants to ask any question? No. Okay. Today morning I have uploaded my yesterday's lecture in your LMS. Huh? You can check it there. So this is the last part of the elasticity concept, that is the elasticity of supply. So it is very much similar to the elasticity of demand. And in case of elasticity of supply, there are no such cross elasticity and income elasticity. So these things are not here. So it's a simple elasticity of supply. So look at the first bullet. It is written as percentage change in the quantity supplied due to percentage change in price of that commodity. Very similar to the definition of the elasticity of demand. So again, if you are trying to write it in the mathematical form in terms of formula, then the second bullet is showing the percentage change. Oh, there's a mistake in the spelling. Oh, just a minute. Yes. So it is the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price. So if your denominator is becoming 1, that means there is a 1% change in price, then the corresponding percentage change in quantity supplied, that will be your elasticity of supply. Okay. This is how you can define your elasticity of supply. And again, with the similar way, you can write it here. You can write QS. Here I am writing it in small q. Small q is supply for me, but you can write it capital QS, small qs, or capital Q, whatever, but you have to mention what you are trying to show with this number. Okay, so it is del Q by del P into P by Q. Small q is the quantity supplied. Fine. So this is the elasticity of supply. Now again, how to measure the elasticity? There is a thumb rule. We are applying the thumb rule just like the elasticity of demand. There is a thumb rule. And what is a thumb rule? Let me draw the line, then you can understand. Okay, so you have a supply curve. You don't know. Okay, again, the supply curve may be a curve, maybe a upward rising straight line. Anything is accepted. But for simplicity, let me draw a straight line. Okay, now how to get the elasticity of supply, say at this point. So what is the elasticity of supply at this point? So the point is A. Okay, I want to find out the elasticity of supply at the point A. And how to do this? Very simple. I'm using the thumb rule. I'm not going to derive that rule because it is not in our syllabus. The derivation is not in our syllabus, but you can apply that one. So for that, I'm drawing a line. Say this is B. Okay, this is B. Now, how to get the elasticity? You have to raise this line and it will intersect this extended part of the horizontal axis at any point. So the point is C. Okay, say the point is C. Okay, and you have one origin. You know the name of the origin is generally O. So how to get the elasticity of supply? Elasticity of supply is CB by OB. Do you get my point? This is a thumb rule again, a formula, simple formula. CB by OB. Okay, so you can see from the diagram that CB is greater than OB. Okay, CB is greater than OB. So the ratio, the elasticity of this line is greater than 1. And this is true for any point on this line. Look, you can take your A here. You can take the point A here. But thing will be same. Okay, always your C, or that will be by D. So CD will be greater than OD. So this is how, if any supply curve has a vertical intercept. Look, this supply curve has a vertical intercept. So if any supply curve has vertical intercept, its elasticity of supply is greater than 1. Okay, so I'm applying the thumb rule. So is it clear to you, or if you have any doubt, you can ask.
Ma'am, could you repeat the thumb rule here once more?
Yeah, it's CB by OB. If you have any supply curve, you have to just extend that supply curve so that it will intersect the horizontal axis. Okay, it will intersect the horizontal axis, maybe in some other, what can I say, it's other part, it's a negative zone, but anyway, it is intersecting the horizontal axis at the point C. So then you have to check CB, that means this length divided by OB. This is the thumb rule. Okay, so this is the thumb rule, CB by OB. Once you can understand, you can apply it for any supply curve. Let me draw another supply curve which has horizontal intercept. Okay, that may be the supply curve. It has horizontal intercept. Then what will be? Then what will be the elasticity at the point A? Say this is your A now. Huh? So how to get it? Again, you have to drop one vertical line. So the name of the point is B and this point is C. You have your origin O. So again it is CB by OB. The formula is same. It is CB by OB, but now CB is less than OB. So for this supply curve, the elasticity is less than 1. This is inelastic supply curve. Okay, do you get my point? The formula is same, CB by, but that means where that supply curve is intersecting the horizontal axis, you have to take that point. So the distance of that point with the vertical stretch divided by the distance from the origin of this particular point. Okay, CB by OB, that is the formula. But so you can understand, if your supply curve has any vertical intercept, its elasticity is greater than 1. If the supply curve has any horizontal intercept, then the elasticity is less than 1. This is the thumb rule. I am just applying the thumb rule. And along, if you can remember, in case of the straight line demand curve, elasticity of demand is changing, right? At the midpoint, it's 1. Above the midpoint, it's greater than 1. Below the midpoint, it's less than 1. But this is not so difficult. That critical situation is not true for the supply curve. Once you have a supply curve, the elasticity of supply is same along that straight line supply curve, I should mention. If your supply curve is a straight line, so along this line, you have the same elasticity of supply, either greater than 1 or less than 1 or equal to 1. So now tell me if you have any problem from these two diagrams. I'm not sure whether these are there. Yes, it is here. This is elastic supply curve and this is inelastic supply curve. So I've explained it here. So tell me if you have any problem from these two diagrams. Ask.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if we change the point A, then the point uh, B will change.
Yes.
So, so
Okay,
will the
change. Okay.
elasticity will change?
No. Look. I'm going to change it. Say it is M. Okay. The new point is
Okay,
M.
ma'am.
So I'm dropping that vertical line from M, and the point is N. Again, just a minute. And this is N. Okay. So now the formula is Cn by On. Still, Cn is greater than On. Your endpoint is changing, na? And you are comparing everything with respect to that N.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Understood.
So for for any point on this supply curve, the elasticity is greater than 1. That means this is an elastic supply curve.
And ma'am, the value will also be the same for every point.
Mm, yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, if the supply curve, it is a curved line but not a straight
Yes,
line, then
I will explain. I will go to that point. If it is a curve, then what will happen? I will
okay,
show.
ma'am.
Any problem from these two diagrams? So it is
No,
clear
ma'am.
to you. Okay. So now it is clear to you that if the supply curve has any vertical intercept, that means a flatter sort of thing is like this, then it is elastic. That means greater than 1. And if it is like this, it is inelastic. Okay. Now what about this? Look, the slopes are different, right? Here the slopes are, these are all supply curves. Huh? The slopes are different, but they are all passing through the origin. So here you can understand, if I drop a line like this, that C is on O actually. So CB is equal to OB. If this is my B, like before, if this is my B, so this is my O and this is my C. This is my O and this is my C. So CB by OB is equal to 1 because CB is equal to OB. So you can understand that your supply curve may have any slope. It is steeper, flatter, whatever. But if it is going through the origin, then elasticity of supply is equal to 1. Okay, this type of question may come to confuse you. This is a sort of confusing question. The question is like that. Say there are two supply curves passing through origin. One is flatter and one is steeper. And explain whose elasticity of supply is greater than 1 and whose elasticity of supply is less than 1. Your answer should be, for both the supply curves, elasticity of supply is equal to 1 as both are passing through origin. Is it clear?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, then for a linear demand curve, the elasticity of demand varies along the curve. But for a linear supply curve, it is constant throughout.
Exactly.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. I should have, oh, I don't have this diagram, but I must have this diagram. Okay. You asked me the question, let me draw. I should not do this. I should use that picture. It will be easy for me to explain, but okay. This is your supply curve. Okay. It's a curve. Now it is not a straight line. Okay. It is your curve. Now you want to find out, now you have a very good question, I should say, that whether along this curve elasticity of supply is constant or not. My answer is no. Here it is not constant. Okay. For example, if you want to find out the elasticity of supply at this point, how to do this? You have to draw a tangent through this point. Okay, like this. Now look, this tangent, this straight line has vertical intercept. So at this point, elasticity of supply is greater than 1. You get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Now look, you have some point on your supply curve. Let me draw. That is a sort of back calculation, but let me draw it. Look, at this point, your tangent is actually going through the origin. So for this point, the elasticity is equal to 1. The elasticity is equal to 1. Now you can take any point here. Here it is like this. So it has an horizontal intercept. So you can understand the elasticity is less than 1. So once you have a curve, once you have a supply curve, the general shape of the curve, the elasticity of supply is not constant. But if it is a straight line, then it is constant. Greater than 0, equal to, greater than 1, equal to 1, or less than 1. But if it is a curve, then the elasticity of supply varies. Do you have any problem from this diagram?
Ma'am, I didn't understand about the greater than 1 and less than 1. Equals to 1 is clear to me. But the another two part is, yeah.
For this diagram or for the
Yes, ma'am.
previous one?
No, is this for this diagram?
Okay, for this
For the
diagram.
curve.
Okay. So let me draw it again. Huh? I cannot remove it. I don't know how to remove. Okay.
I think Control Z.
Okay, fine. Let me draw another. Okay. Let me use another color. Huh? I think that will be better. Which color? Okay. let me try to find out the elasticity of supply at this point. How to do that? For that, I have to draw a tangent through this point, like this. Okay? So it is tangent. Now look at the tangent. The tangent has a vertical intercept. So you know if the supply curve has any vertical intercept, the elasticity is greater than 1. So that means at this point, the elasticity is greater than 1. Okay. Let me take another point here. I want to find out elasticity of supply here. And how to do that? Again, I have to draw a tangent. Okay. So this is a tangency, huh? So you have a tangent at this point. That tangent has an horizontal intercept. So as it has horizontal intercept, you know if any supply curve has horizontal intercept, its elasticity is less than 1. So that means at this point of the curve, your elasticity of supply is less than 1. Now is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now clear.
Any problem?
Ma'am, it is same for the demand curve also as well. Like
Yes,
the
derivation
elasticity
is.
varies. Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am.
If it is a curve, then it is very similar to the demand curve. But if it is a straight line, then it is quite different from the demand curve.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Any other question? Okay, I hope there is no question. So let me just give you an quick wrap up. Look, the elasticity of supply, I'm just defining the elasticity of supply. If once you have, if you have the equation, if you have the supply equation like this, let me write. Where is my pen? I cannot find. Just a minute, just a minute. Yes. If I have any equation like Q is equal to say 10, there is law of supply, so there should be a plus sign. 10 plus 5, I'm giving a simple equation, huh? This is your supply equation. Once it is given, you can understand it's a supply equation. Why? Because there is a positive sign. So Q and P, they are positively related. So it's a supply equation. And obviously it will be mentioned, huh? So it is mentioned that it's a supply equation. Then the question is, what is the elasticity of supply at P is equal to, say P is equal to 1. If P is equal to 1, then what will be the elasticity of supply? If this type of question will come, then first of all, you have to find out dq/dp. Okay, because you need it. So dq/dp here you can see it's 5 and P is equal to 1. Just a minute. Huh? So if P is equal to 1, then your Q is 15. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So no issue. It's 10 plus 5, so 15. So you have P, so you have Q, and from the equation you have dq/dp. So you put all those values in the formula, you will get the elasticity of supply. Okay. If any particular equation will be given, so this is how you can find the elasticity of supply. Okay, so this is one way. Now I have shown you the different type of elasticity. This is elastic, this is inelastic, this is unit elastic, and if it is a curve, then this is how you can get the elasticity, and it will vary along the curve. So this much for the elasticity of supply. Now let me go to the question. Okay, I'm going to
Ma'am, I have
share.
a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, ma'am, like elasticity is generally the slope of the curve
Mm.
for any supply or demand curve. But ma'am,
Mm.
if it is the slope of the curve, the demand curve, we know that it always
No,
has
no,
a
why,
negative.
no, just a minute, just a minute. Elasticity is not only the slope. Slope into something.
Okay,
Hmm?
okay.
Look,
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
look,
ma'am.
look.
Yes.
Elasticity is dq/dp.
Yes.
Sorry, the slope is dq. Slope is dp
Slope is
dq.
dq, dp
Ah,
dq
dp
into
dq.
p
So
by
it is,
q.
yes. So that p by q is the problem.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
So may I start the question answer portion? I am going to show the university. Okay, you told me to upload it university question, so I'm going to upload it just after my class. So today, you will definitely get that university questions. Just a minute. Yes. So this is the university question paper of 2018. It's a bit hazy, huh? This is my fault actually, but only for this page. From the next page, it is very clear. Ore Baba, cannot see. Can I make it a yes? Find out the opportunity cost of a policy to reduce the global warming. It's a mix up because it's you can understand it's a total question paper, full question paper. So all these are there. So let me find out where which questions we can discuss. So whatever question we have done, we are going to discuss from the university question paper. Okay. So the first question is find out the opportunity cost of a policy to reduce the global warming. Do you think that the opportunity cost will be same for all the countries? Look, it is absolutely your view. Huh? Your answer should not be same with the answer of your friends. So tell me what is the opportunity cost of reducing global warming? What do you think? This is actually from unit 1, huh?
Ma'am, cutting down on the profit.
Economic growth will reduce. Like that will be
Okay,
the
okay.
option.
Look,
And
it varies,
reduction in
huh?
production process.
Hmm. Okay. So that means the productivity. You are saying about the reduction of productivity. Okay. You are discouraging the productivity. Okay. Now the second point, do you think the opportunity cost will be same for all the countries? No. No.
No, ma'am.
Why? Why it is not? That you have to explain. No is okay, but why not?
Ma'am, more developed countries will have to reduce more of their like profit or production to have a global to reduce global warming.
Okay. Anything else? I cannot hear you.
Global warming. So it might have an economical impact on some countries and it might not have some economical impact on the other.
Hmm. You may have some network issue. We cannot hear your voice properly. But what I can understand, you are telling that okay, global warming may have some economic impact, may not have some economic impact, depending on the structure of the countries. Yes, you are right. So this is absolutely your view, huh? You have to write with your own words. The distinguish no, oh, sorry, distinguish. Sorry, এটা কি লেখা আছে?
Digitalization.
Okay, digitalization would help transaction accounting in India. Evaluate whether the statement is positive or normative. Definitely, it's a positive or negative or normative.
Normative statement.
Normative.
Normative.
Yes,
Normative.
it's a normative. It's a normative because it's the view of a person. What do এটা কি বলতো? Perfectly, okay. What do perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic demand curves uh, আমি না কিছু পড়তে এত বাজে ছবি তুলেছে আমি নিজেই পড়তে পারছি না।
Ma'am, it is indicate.
Okay. Indicate about the behavior of the buyer. Okay, fine. If it is perfectly elastic, that means the consumer for commodity is not so important for the consumer. If there will be an insignificant change of the price, the consumer can reduce its quantity demanded drastically. Okay. So the consumer is very sensitive about the demand of the commodity. So that is why it is perfectly elastic. And in case of perfectly inelastic, whatever price will be charged, the consumer will purchase a certain commodity. So he has to have the commodity. So this is how it is a sort of necessary commodity for the consumer. This is the behavior of the buyer. Do you think that price elasticity of demand would be greater for look, this is the question I have discussed. Do you think that price elasticity of demand would be greater for car industry as a whole of for Maruti 800 of the Maruti firm? They are talking about the Maruti 800 and the car industry as a whole. You have to compare car industry with the Maruti 800. So definitely car industry has inelastic or elastic demand.
Inelastic.
Inelastic.
Yes, absolutely. For car industry, it is inelastic demand. For Maruti 800, it is elastic demand. But you have to explain it properly, huh? Two in a group of 5 daily passengers. Okay, look at the question. 2 in a group of 5 daily passengers in a train buy newspapers and 3 others borrows them to read. Newspaper in this case appears to be a public good to the borrowers. Do you agree? Ki lage? Is it public good? And this is very common picture in the local train. Na? But is it a public good? What do you think? There are 4 types of commodity: public good, private good, common resource, natural monopoly.
Ma'am, more
So
like
with
common resources.
yes, it is a common resource. Why?
Ma'am, because if I am reading that, I am borrowing that paper, someone else can.
Yes, actually you have to borrow. You have to ask someone to give it. So that person has that excludable right. If he will refuse not to give it, then you cannot read. Okay. So that excludability property is there.
Rivalry there right now.
Huh?
Ma'am, common resources there are rivalry. Is it rivalry or exhaustion?
Okay.
Ma'am, it
So
will
you
be
are talking
club
about
good.
Ma'am, isn't it rivalry?
yes, rivalry is also there. Yes, rivalry is also there. You can explain it in terms of rivalry. Because I am reading a page, so at that time you cannot read that page. Simultaneous reading is not possible, no? So this is how rivalry is there. At the same time you cannot read. After my reading you can go.
Ma'am, then will it be a private good because both properties are there?
Uh yes, sort of. But the thing is that it is written. Look, it is written that other 3 borrows them to read. That means they are taking that already. Huh? So that is how you can say that excludability is not here. Because they are borrowing and they are reading. So that part has been done. So there is non-excludability in that sense, but rivalry is obviously there. When the first 2 person who bought that papers actually, when they are reading the newspapers, others cannot. After they have done, others can read. So rivalry property is there. It's better to say this is actually a common resource.
Okay, ma'am.
This is a very bad habit, I should say, but people are doing this. The crop surplus pushes, no, this is not in our term. Okay, we will discuss it in the next unit. So this is done. Let me go to the next part. Okay, Italy and Greece both produce loaves of bread
Ma'am,
and
ma'am.
bottles. Yes,
Ma'am,
yes,
there
yes.
is a question left, Marshallian
Yes, ma'am.
sub.
Marshallian demand curve one.
Yeah,
Oh,
question F, Prabhat.
Marshallian demand curve is always unitary elastic. No, 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 no. There is no such thing. Okay, so it's not true. Do you agree? No, I'm not agreed with that because it.
Marshalling approach, is it on demand curve?
Yes, you can have the Marshallian demand curve. Where?
Isn't it the approach?
No, that was the approach. Yes, that was the approach. Actually, what happened? This is this is actually from the consumer behavior chapter, our unit 6. Hmm. But as you know the Marshallian concept, so you are in a hurry to give the answer. Yes, for you, this is a wrong sentence because Marshallian demand curve may have any type of elasticity. And what we did, that was the Marshallian approach, just like the Walras approach. So we have not discussed Marshallian demand curve yet. This is under the heading of consumer behavior. We will discuss. But still, it is a wrong sentence. Okay. So may I go to section B? I'm going.
Yes, ma'am.
Italy and Greece both produce bread and olive oil. Suppose that Italian worker can produce 10 loaves of bread and 5 bottles of olive oil per hour. And for Greece, it is 8 and 8. Okay. Which country has the absolute advantage? For that, you have to make a table. Just make the table and write those values. Then you can understand who has the absolute advantage. Absolute advantage, definitely. Italy in terms of bread, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Italy in
he is
terms of
produced,
bread.
yes, he is producing more bread as compared to absolute advantage means it depends on the productivity, where you are producing, which commodity you can produce more. So bread is produced more by the Italy, and for Greece it is olive oil.
Bottle.
Yes,
Bottle of
olive
olive
oil,
oil.
olive oil. And what about the comparative advantage? You need opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost table and then we can define it.
Yes, yes. So opportunity cost, what is the opportunity cost of bread in Italy? It's
5 by
5 by
10.
10. So
It
it's
is
half.
unit of bottle.
It is half, and here it is. Look, here comes the opposite answer. If it is Greece, in case of Greek, it is 8 by 8, so 1. Okay. So opportunity cost of bread in Italy is half, and opportunity cost of bread in Greek is 1. So Italy has comparative advantage over bread. But absolute, কি হলো? Yes, yes, I'm right. So Italy has absolute and comparative advantage over bread. The thing is same, no? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. It is same.
Hmm. If Italy and Greece decide to trade, which commodity will Italy trade to Greece? Definitely Italy will sell bread. And why? Because it has a comparative advantage over commodity. And the next part, the same thing. If a Greek worker would produce only 5 bottles, now comes the problem. Look, if the Greek worker produce only 5 bottles, that means you have to replace that 8 by 5. Then who will benefit from trade? এবার কি হবে?
Then we need to draw on another opportunity
Another
cost
table,
table
yes,
and then.
definitely. The first table is same, 10, 5. But the
Mhm.
second row will be 8, 5.
Yeah.
Again, you have to find out the opportunity cost and tell me if there will be any change in trade. I cannot draw it here. So you will draw and you will make the table and tell me whether there will be any change in the pattern of trade. So what is your answer?
No, ma'am, there won't be any change.
Okay. So there will be no change. That means the pattern of trade, comparative advantage, everything is same. The direction is same. Okay, fine. As you are telling, so I am not going to. You can understand now how to do that. Your new table will be 10, 5 for Italy, and for Greek it will be 8 and 5. Then you have to find out the opportunity cost of bread in terms of olive oil in Italy, and similarly for Greek, and opposite for the olive oil. And then you have to compare where the opportunity cost is least.
Ma'am, in the question it is given who will benefit from trade. Ma'am, as it is, if there is trade, both of them will benefit irrespective what each
Yes,
produces.
yes. If you can trade, then both will get the benefit. If trade is possible, both will get the benefit. And here it is possible. The trade is possible. So yes, both will get the benefit from trade. Okay.
Ma'am, what
Ma'am,
should
in
be
the
written in the explanatory part about the question number C?
That means here you have to explain the concept of gains from trade.
Okay. From gains from trade, everyone can benefit.
Yes,
So it can
it's
better
only
off.
2 marks. Look, it's only two
Okay.
marks. So first of all, you have
Hmm.
to explain that what will be the change, whether there will be any change in the pattern of trade. For that, it is 1 mark. And for the next part, who will get the benefit of trade? Yes, both will get the benefit of trade because they can trade, they can exchange the commodities. And we know that once there is trade, there is gains from trade. So as trade is possible still, so both countries will get the benefit from the trade. Fine, done.
ma'am, in the second question, B part,
Hmm.
we will consider trade in terms of comparative or absolute advantage
No,
because
comparative.
okay, ma'am.
It's better to explain in terms of comparative because it is the safe.
All right.
And once it has been asked in your first part, so it's very safe to use that concept. It was
Okay,
already asked. It was already asked in question number A. So you can continue from there.
okay, ma'am.
Now, don't go for question number 3. It's a subsidy and everything. So this is not in our, we have not done yet. So don't go for it. The next question number 4 is also not discussed yet. So leave that. I think I don't have any other question to discuss right now from this demand, supply, subsidy. No. There are 3 industries, total cost. No. So market. You can try this one. Suppose a market consists of 3 consumers A, B, C, where the individual demand functions are given. Find out the market demand for the commodity. That means you have to make just the horizontal summation. Find out the equilibrium price and quantity. So once you have the market demand curve, market supply equation is given to you. So you know at the equilibrium demand is equal to supply. So then you have to equate that demand curve, the derived demand curve which you derived with the supply equation, and then you will get the price. If you put that price in any of those equations, then you will get the quantity. So you can try question number 8.
Ma'am, we will draw the
Sorry.
graphs.
No. It is not needed. As it is not mentioned, don't go for it. It's only 3 marks.
Okay, ma'am.
You have to be very much what can I say? Must watch the full marks and go accordingly. Don't write anything more.
Okay, ma'am.
This is question, I think this is from question 18. Maybe. Give two examples of common resources. Local, park, ocean. You can use anything where there is rivalry, but there is no excludability. Okay. Is the free market use of common resource generally greater or less than the efficient use? Definitely greater, na? Ki lage?
Yes, ma'am. Greater.
Yes. Free market use of common resource generally greater than the efficient use. We are using it extensively, and that is the problem of, that is known as the tragedy of common. Okay. So here you have to mention that that word also, huh? The term. The tragedy of common. Actually, they are asking about the tragedy of common. Look at the question, second question. Give an example in which one person has an absolute advantage in doing something, but another has a comparative advantage. Here you have to make a table. Yes. Here you have to make a table. You have to put some values so that, say, country A has absolute advantage over the commodity X, but country B has comparative advantage over commodity Y. Do you get my point? You have to make the
Yes, ma'am.
simple numerical values 2, 3, 4, 5. Just arrange them so that it will happen. Any problem from question B? Mm. You have to do it. I cannot give you any particular value right now, but you have to make the table and think and put the values. Don't go for a very large value because that will make some mistake. There is a chance to make a mistake. Use a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, all those values. Hmm. Competitive advantage means the least opportunity cost will be least. And absolute advantage means the quantity production should be more. Don't go for question number C. It's a deadweight loss. Can the private market always solve the problem posed by the externality? Yesterday, some of your friends, I don't know who, but she has asked me about the externality. So this is here. Price control, no, don't go for it. No control. Now explain what is the free rider here. Explain what is meant by the free rider. All of you know what is free rider. I have discussed in the class. Can an individual be a free rider while consuming a public good? What will be the answer?
Yes, ma'am. If he is not paying for it, then if he is consuming a public good, then of course he's a free rider.
Do you agree with the answer?
No, ma'am. Public
No
good is
one.
excludable
The
in nature.
government can take money.
Some public goods are generally free. So how are we supposed to pay for it?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
if there is no settlement or government intervention, then anyone can be a free rider.
No, no, no. Try to explain it. Anyone can be free rider. No.
Ma'am, for public goods, the government always takes some tax or some kind of payment for public goods to maintain. So everybody's paying. So nobody can be a free rider for a public good.
If I cannot pay the tax, so the option is there, for the public good, that option is open. If there is a very strict control by the government, the intervention is very strong, they're collecting this tax and everything strictly, then the free riding is not possible, but the possibility is always there. Free riding possibility is always there for the public good. It depends on the situation. If the laws are not implemented properly, then individual can easily free ride. Okay, because non-rivalry is there, na? For the public good, there is non-rivalry. And once you can free ride, it is non-excludable as well. And don't go for G. No, H, no. Following table show that two can gain from exchange and specialization. Okay, the table is here. Look, this type of table you can make for that 4 marks question. Huh? But what is the question? The following table shows the hours needed to produce fish and rice for the show that two can gain from exchange and specialization. Identify which person specializes in producing. Okay, just tell me. Look at the table and tell me who is going to produce fish and who is going to produce rice.
Ma'am, B is going to produce fish and A is going to produce rice.
You are going with the opportunity cost, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is it okay for all?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. For A, what is the opportunity
A should.
cost of fish? 12 by 5. Okay. Here it is 12 by 5. If I want to draw the, if I want to make the opportunity cost table, then here it will be 12 by 5. And for B, it will be 4 by 3. So which one is more, 4 by 3 or 12 by 5?
12 by 5.
Then 4 by 3 is the least, na?
No, ma'am.
Then B can specialize in producing fish.
Yes, 12
Because B
by.
has the less opportunity cost.
So you are telling that 4 by 3 is less than 12 by 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So B will produce fish and just opposite will happen for the rice. So A will produce rice. That will be the exchange pattern. And once they can exchange, they can trade, so they will gain. Okay.
And what about specialization? Are we going to discuss that?
The specialization is this one, that B is going to produce fish and A is going to produce rice. Now, whether this is complete specialization or not, that we are not sure. That we cannot say from that table. But definitely B is going to produce more of fish than the autarky situation, and A is going to produce more of rice than his autarky situation. So this is how they are specializing.
Ma'am, didn't the question ask like what kind of specialization is happening?
Yes. What kind of specialization? No. Show that two can gain from exchange and specialization. So the question is not identify which person specializes in which kind of, no, it will never come because you don't know. You cannot find out. Now is it okay? You don't know whether it is complete specialization or not, but they will specialize. Definitely they will specialize, they will produce more. But whether they will produce that single commodity or not, we are not sure from that table. We cannot say. Is that okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now look at the table. This is very simple, huh? Imagine an economy that produces two goods, computers and mobile phones. If the economy uses all its resources to produce computers and mobile phones, then the various combinations of two products it can produce as shown below. So it's a very simple table. You can understand what to do. You have to just plot those values. In the horizontal axis, you may measure computer. On the vertical axis, you may measure mobile phones. Okay, so you have to plot those values 0, 40, 139, 236 like this, and then join all those, you will get the ppf. The PPF may not be very smooth one. It will be a kinked, but it will be downward sloping and concave definitely. You will get your PPF which is concave and downward sloping. But it may not be that smooth one which is drawn which is there in your textbook. You may not get that. But that will be the correct PPF for this table. In your diagram, show the point of scarcity, technical efficiency, and the opportunity cost. Point of scarcity means the point which you,
Outside the PPF.
yes. It is the point which you cannot reach. Okay, so any point, take any point outside your PPF. Let me draw. Can I draw? No, I cannot draw here. So you are drawing on PPF. So take any point outside the PPF. That is the point of scarcity. That means you cannot reach. And technical efficiency means any point on the PPF. Okay. That means you are using your technology efficiently. Resources are fully utilized. Technology is fully utilized and also it is on the PPF. And opportunity cost you can easily show. Can I show?
Ma'am, the
Yes, ma'am.
opportunity cost would be different from different points on the
Yes,
because it is a curved one.
exactly. But take any of them.
Okay, ma'am.
If number of computer is increasing from 1 to 2, then the mobile phone production is reduced from 39 to 36. So it will be a triangle sort of thing. In the horizontal axis it is 1 and on the vertical axis it is 3. So this is the opportunity cost of the computer from 1 to 2. This is how you can define. Okay.
Ma'am, do
It
we
may
need
be,
to define for all the points or just any
yes.
one?
Yes, you have to take any one, but you have to mention. As the values
Okay.
are there, so you have to mention. It will be better.
Okay, ma'am.
What can cause the PPF to shift out? Bolo. What can cause the
Ma'am,
PPF to shift?
technological development.
Technological advancement.
Technological development, more availability of resources. No? If more resources, more labor, more capital are available, more raw materials are available, technology is developed. Look at the point, it's a 1.5. So 1 point is not sufficient. When you are going to give the answer, always remember to check the full marks. Okay, so it's 1.5. So at least 2 points should be there. And then if you want, you can draw the line. You can draw the diagram by showing an upward shift of the PPF. Okay. Now this is not for our concern right now. Question number 4. We cannot explain it. Question number 5, supply and demand. Yes, that you can. That you can. It's a very easy one. Question number 5. For each of the following scenarios, use a supply and demand diagram to illustrate the effect on the equilibrium price and quantity in a competitive market. Explain whether there is a shift in the demand curve or a supply curve in each case. Okay. The first one, the government introduces tax on ice cream, which is paid by the producer. No, you cannot. You cannot. Sorry, you cannot. So tax. India and Bangladesh are major producer. Textile workers decide to go on strike. Yes, that you can.
Supply curve shifted to leftward.
Yes. For B, it's easy. Supply curve will shift to the left. There is a fall in supply. Show the effect on the situation described in B on the market for Bangladesh textile. Okay. Indian workers going for the strike. So the supply, what happened? Just a minute. So, where is the question? Where is my question? I could not find. Oh,
Ma'am, Microsoft Edge.
this one. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the second part is like this: the supply from the India will fall. Hmm. And both are going to. So what will be its effect on the market for Bangladesh textile? The demand will
Price will
increase, no?
increase.
Yes. The demand curve will shift to the right for the Bangladesh. Yes. Now look at question number 6. If the elasticity
Ma'am,
of, yes.
will you repeat the C part once more?
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Uh, yes. The question is, what does show the effect on the situation described in BU on the market for Bangladesh textile? You know, they both are producing textiles. So when the supply in India is falling, the supply curve will shift to the right. So the equilibrium price in Indian market will rise. Okay. So the people who are consuming textile, they are watching the price in Indian market has increased. So they will shift their demand from India. So in the Bangladesh textile market, the demand will increase. The demand curve will shift. Again, why you are trying to join now? Why you are trying to join now? I cannot understand whether you are in the class or not. Okay. So in Bangladesh, the demand will increase, and that will again increase the price of textile in Bangladesh as well.
Ma'am, this is happening because the supply of textiles from India is
Falling.
decreased, is falling.
Mhm.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So now look at question number 6. If the elasticity of demand for ice cream were half, okay, how much would quantity demanded fall if a decrease in supply raised the price by 10%? Very confusing question. Read the question carefully and try to give the answer.
The answer is 10% probably.
Is it okay? If the elasticity of demand for ice cream is half, how much would quantity demanded fall if a decrease in supply raised the price by 10%? No, no, no. Elasticity of demand is half. Price is raised by 10%. So demand should fall by 5%. Yes. Demand should fall by 5%. The ratio should be half. Is it clear now?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Yes. How can I repeat if in each minute someone is trying to join? Now I cannot find who are trying to join. Look, the elasticity of demand is half. Okay. So the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price is equal to half. Okay. Whatever be the reason, the price has raised by 10%. So the denominator is changed by 10%. Then what about the numerator? Numerator will change by 5%. Then only the ratio will be half now.
Yes, ma'am. Understand.
Yes, ma'am.
It will be like this: percentage change in quantity demanded divided by 10 is equal to half. So percentage change in quantity demanded will be 10 into half will be 5 and it will fall. It is written. Nothing to do. It is
Ma'am,
written.
ma'am, there is written if a decrease in supply raised by and the well,
That is just to confuse you. That part is for your confusion. If supply raise the price, whatever be the reason, the price is increased by 10%. That is important for me because I am dealing with the elasticity of demand.
okay, understood.
Teachers are always trying to confuse you. Huh? Don't go for that trap. Now look, I'm not talking about always. Huh? It's not always, but the questions should be a bit tricky. You have to find out where is your answer. Look at question number 6b. If the income elasticity of demand for fish were 2, how much would the quantity demanded increase if buyer's income rose by 10%? It about it.
20.
20.
Yes, very good. It is 20%. But as you can see, the total marks is 3. Then you have to first define the income elasticity. Then you have to write the formula. Then you have to put those values in the formula and find the answer. Okay. If the full marks is 1 or 1.5, then just write the formula and then it's done. But here, as the full marks is 3, first of all, you have to define income elasticity. That externality, no, you cannot. This part is no. Now look. Just a minute. Using the classification of excludability and rivalry in consumption, explain which category the following goods fall into. Nico part, tell me. You know 4 types of commodities you have the table.
Private good.
Private good.
Private goods. Yes. Excludability is very much there and rivalry is also there. Yes, it's a private good. But in the off time, in the off season, slack season, Nico Park is non-rival in nature, but excludability is always there. So at that time, it's a common resource. No rivalry, but excludable. So it's a natural monopoly.
Ma'am, club good in that case.
Natural monopoly. All India Radio?
Ma'am, should we require to
Mention both.
describe the both?
Yes.
Okay.
All India Radio? Yes. I cannot hear you properly. I cannot hear. Can you hear? Oh, your friend? I cannot hear. Am I audible properly? Then what is the answer? All India Radio?
Public good.
Okay, public good. Okay, sort of public good because it is free of cost and non-rival as in nature. Question number 3. But for that you have to purchase one radio set. But okay, if radio set is there, then it is public good. Okay, fine. It's a public good. Now question. Yes.
Would that change the fact that it's a public good?
I cannot understand. I cannot hear you. Maybe some network issue. I cannot hear you properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, what if we buy the radio? Would that change the fact that it's a public good?
Yes. Yes, you have to mention it. If the radio set is compulsory to have the supply or the service, then you have that excludability property is there. So that portion you have to mention. You should have the money to purchase a radio set. Once radio set is there, for example, in a village, there are some villages in India where the radio sets are given by the government, basically for the farmers. So they can listen all India radio. So for them, it's a public good. Once radio set is there, it's a public good. But once you have to purchase it personally, then it becomes natural monopoly. Okay, there is a excludable property. Now, what about the original painting by Jamini Roy?
Private good.
Club good.
Private.
Private good.
Ma'am, why private good?
Yes, I'm also asking why it is private good.
It should be natural monopoly, like club good.
Okay. Let them explain why it is private good.
Ma'am, if I buy it at an auction, so it will be rival in nature and
Why rival? No, excludability is there because you have to pay.
ma'am, if I buy it at a auction,
Mhm.
then it will be a
Well,
rival in nature.
it is an original painting, so it is one in copy. There is no duplicate one. So it is
Yes,
also in
yes,
rival.
yes. Rival. They are explaining. Look, who are saying it's a common resource for that student. Look, you are. This is an original painting. Okay, so there is only one copy. Once you have it, you must have it in your home. This is actually your personal belonging sort of thing. You have purchased it, and just like any other precious metal jewelry, it's a another precious belonging.
Ma'am, what if
So
I showcase it? Like
yes,
how I, doesn't it depend on how I use that painting? If
how
I
you
Ma'am,
can
what
showcase
if
it,
it
use.
is in an gallery? Then it's not a private good.
Yes, ma'am. Then everyone can appreciate it.
But in the gallery, you have to enter, and there is a ticket generally.
Yes, ma'am. That's why there is exclusivity. Rivalry is not there.
But
Yes,
when
what is
someone
it?
uses it, then
yes.
another.
There is a confusion. There is a confusion. Someone is saying it's a rival in nature. Someone saying no, it's a non-rival. Yes, if it is for a personal, here also you have to mention the both options. Huh? If it is for any personal individual or any household or like that, so for that it is a rival in nature. It is in my home, you cannot see it. If it is like this, then definitely it is rival in nature. But if it is purchased by some gallery, so they will display it. If you enter there by purchasing the ticket or that, you can see it. I am watching, you are watching, everyone can watch, the 10 or 1000 people can watch the painting simultaneously. So in that case there is non-rivalry. Okay, so you have to mention both the options.
Ma'am, if the question was not of painting by Jamini Roy, it was Mona Lisa then.
Yes, Mona Lisa is also excludable because you have to purchase the ticket of the museum, otherwise how can you enter to watch it?
Yes, ma'am. Then the private good part will not be there.
No.
Well, when there is a restriction of an original painting, then the answer is this. And if this is another painting which is not original, then we can conclude another thing. Am I right now?
Yes, if it is in the auction and you can purchase it individually. Sometimes some paintings of Van Gogh, some paintings of these are also auctioned, right? So and these are purchased by some people. So in that case, that commodity is becoming their personal belonging. Hmm. So here comes the problem. But if it is purchased or it is displayed by the government in some museum and all this, so there comes that non-rivalry property. So it's better to mention both.
Okay, ma'am.
Excludability is always there, but rivalry and non-rivalry it varies. So it's better to explain both to be safe. And national defense is absolutely public good.
Public good.
Acha. Now look at the next sentence. A non-linear demand curve will necessarily have different elasticity along the curve. Non-linear demand curve. Yes, the statement is true. Non-linear demand curve, that means a demand curve which is a curve. So you have, even if you have a linear demand curve, the elasticity may change. So if it is non-linear, no. Uncertain. It's better to say uncertain. Look, non-linear means it may be unit elastic.
Rectangular hyperbolic.
Yes. So it is also non-linear, but the elasticity is constant. It's 1. Okay. So it's better to say uncertain. It depends. Increase in the demand for any problem with that question?
Ma'am, can you go back to the previous question of the previous question, ma'am? It's the second last question you discussed.
Original painting?
No. The elastic inelastic question you discussed in the beginning. Not in the beginning, just previous to that question.
Where it is? I'm showing. Just stop me. Where it is?
Yes,
This
question number
one.
6.
Elastic.
Yes, question number 6A. Ma'am,
Yeah.
the elasticity given in question number 6A is half. That is less
Hmm.
than 1.
Hmm.
So it should be inelastic. So the
Hmm.
change in price shouldn't change the demand.
No, it is
Ma'am,
not mentioned as perfectly inelastic. It is inelastic.
okay.
It is not equal to 0. It is less than 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, for the non-linear demand curve question, ma'am, I think it should be, it varies from point to point, because even if it is unit elastic, if we take a point at the top of the demand curve, it may not be unit elastic at that point.
Why? If it is rectangular hyperbola, then definitely for any point on that demand curve, your elasticity is equal to 1. That is the property of the rectangular hyperbola, that del q by q is equal to del p by p.
Ma'am, will it be true for all the points?
Yes, for that particular shape.
Okay, ma'am.
Now look at the next question. Increase in demand for notebooks raises the quantity of notebooks demanded but not quantity supplied. Is it true? What do you think? Is it true?
No, ma'am. Increase in demand will finally result in an increase in quantity supplied.
It is quantity supplied. Look, it's the quantity supplied. That means you are moving along the supply curve. That is quite true. Increase in demand, that means your demand curve has shifted upward. Okay. So both will increase. The quantity demanded as well as quantity supplied, both will increase. So your equilibrium price and quantity both will be more than before. So the statement is false. Price control is not in our syllabus. Again, that free riding is coming. Who is called a free rider? Briefly explain whether an individual can be a free rider when consuming a private good. No, for private good it is not possible to free ride because you have to pay. There it has the non-excludable property. Sorry, it has the excludable property. Private good has the excludability. Okay, so there the free riding is not possible.
Ma'am, in that
Yes.
question where that newspaper question where somebody buys newspaper and another person can read it. So
Hmm.
that is also a private good, and that is like there is a free rider there because that person is buying the newspaper, so it becomes a private good.
But yes, for that person it is a private good, but as he is sharing it, other
Huh.
threes are not. For the rest three, so they are not purchasing it; they are just borrowing.
So
So
in that case, the private good is not
no,
being
no,
used.
no, 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 no. In that case, the total situation, if you just look at the train compartment, there it is non-excludable because the two who have purchased it, they have given it to the rest three. So excludability is not there. They have given it. It is said. It is given. Hmm. So as it is given, so now it is not the private good for anyone. You shared it. Non-excludability is there, but definitely rivalry is there. But here,
Okay.
it, but once you have purchased an commodity and you are not sharing it, so here comes the problem of excludability. But they are not excluding other threes of consuming it. They have shared it. They have given it to the rest three that okay, you didn't purchase, take my copy. Question number 8, I'm not going there. American and Mexican workers can each produce 10 t-shirts per day. American workers can produce 18 dozen brownies. Mexican workers can produce 10. So again, you have to make a table. And once you are getting this type of information, first you have to draw the table. Draw the table and put those values. Assume there each country has 1 million workers. Very good. Graph the PPF. When you are going to graph the PPF, you need that information, that 1 million. Otherwise, you cannot find the value of horizontal and vertical intercept. Because in case of PPF, the horizontal intercept is showing the maximum number of brownies you can produce, and the vertical intercept may show the maximum number of t-shirts you can produce. So for that, you need that 1 million. You have to multiply 10 with 1 million. Then only you can get how many t-shirts America can produce per day. Okay. Which country has absolute advantage? Which country has comparative advantage? Trade in commodity. Which commodity make each country better off? Can you give me the answer of last part? Okay. Give me the answer from question number 2. What is the answer of question number 2? I hope you have done this table.
Ma'am, America has absolute advantage in both goods.
Okay. And about the comparative advantage?
Ma'am, Mexican has comparative advantage in t-shirt and American has brownies.
Hello. তুমি একটু পরে ফোন করো, হ্যাঁ? Just a minute, give me one. হ্যাঁ, ক্লাস তো পরেরটাতে, আমি তো এইভাবেই শিফট করে দিয়েছি, তোমরা তো টাইম পেয়ে গেছো। হ্যাঁ, আমি যে শেয়ার করেছি লিংকটা, সেটা তো উইকলি লিংক আছে। 12:30, হ্যাঁ। হ্যাঁ, so Mexican has comparative advantage over
T-shirt, ma'am.
t-shirt. Okay. Trade in which commodity makes each country better off?
Ma'am, Mexico export T-shirt and America export brownies.
Okay. So here you have to mention only the pattern of trade.
Ma'am,
Well, yes.
ma'am, I couldn't understand the 1 million part.
No, 1 million is required only for question number 1, where you are going to draw the PPF. Okay. In case of PPF, your horizontal and vertical intersect is showing the maximum number of commodity you can produce.
So
Okay.
we can
The
assume
maximum.
that one worker will produce one unit amount of that code.
Yes, yes. If America is employing that 1 million for producing t-shirt, then how many t-shirt he can produce per day? That is needed. And similarly for brownie.
Okay, ma'am.
So that 1 million is required only for the first part, not for the 2, 3 and 4.
Ma'am, if there is written that 2 million workers are there, then should we multiply it with all values?
No, no. You have to multiply.
Yeah, understood.
Now look at question number 3. A person always spends 1/3 of his income on clothing. What is his own price elasticity? Last part is very thin, simple. Oh, income elasticity. Income elasticity is 1/3. But what about A and B? Own price and cross price.
Ma'am, if he always spends 1/3, then will it be 0?
Yes. Own price elasticity is equal to 0. It's perfectly inelastic in nature. And what about the cross price? Because he is not what can I say, he is not giving any signal with respect to change in price. Whatever change in price, his demand is constant. So that is why his own price elasticity is equal to 0. Del Q by Q is 0. His demand is not related with the price. His demand is only related with the income. Okay, so that is why it is 0. And what about B?
Ma'am, can you explain own price elasticity again?
Yes, as it is written, his demand for the clothing is dependent only on the income. That means whatever price is charged, his demand is not changing accordingly. His demand is not related with the price. Okay, his demand for clothing is not related with price. So whatever price he will charge, his demand will not change. So that we can say that del Q by Q is equal to 0. So then own price elasticity is 0.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, cross price is 0.
Cross price is also 0. Yes. His demand is only dependent on his income, no, nothing else. Okay. No other factors can influence his demand. So everything is 0 except income elasticity.
Ma'am, for 2 marks, what else do we have to write?
Yes, what?
Ma'am, the question each is of 2 marks.
Here you
So,
have to
ma'am,
explain. No, no, no. You have to explain that. First of all, you have to define what is own price elasticity and what is cross price elasticity. For the definition, you will get 1. And then you have to explain why it is 0 in that case.
okay, ma'am.
Another one. Okay. Don't go for question number 4. Price support. No, it is not there. Public policy aiming smoking. It is also not there. No. Okay. As a policy maker of a country, On which view the economy will you be positive or normative? Your view, whether you are preferring positive or normative, they're asking. Why do common yes yes
Ma'am, on positive measures,
yes, this is your view. Someone may say, okay, I should go for the normative, but whatever measure you are preferring, you have to explain why it is so.
And the
Why
marks is
do
4.
yes, this is actually not for the same semester question. This is from the part 1, part 2 questions. These are university
Okay.
question papers, but from the part 1, part 2. That was the question pattern at that time. Why do common resources tend to be over exploited? You can explain it, that uh, tragedy of common. You have to give some solution, one solution. Just impose the tax or impose the price of the commodity. Once you are trying to use it, you have to pay. That is how you can solve the problem. You are the curator of a museum. The museum is running short of fund, so you decide to increase the revenue. Suppose you increase or decrease the price. Should you increase or decrease the price? Okay.
Decrease the price. I think.
It depends on the elasticity. Remember, you have to draw the diagram and then think. Okay, I am giving this question as your homework. Okay, I will discuss this question again in the next class, that is on Tuesday. I will start from here, and then this is the thing. You just think of it. I'm giving you only one hint. You have to consider the elasticity of demand and supply. Price is increasing, does at the same time the quantity demand is also falling. So you have to think about your revenue, not only the price. Okay, so think in this way. This is the hint I'm giving. Draw the diagram and then give the answer. It is your home task, and from here I will start in the next class. Okay,
ma'am,
and in between I'm going to share your semester questions. Yes.
ma'am, will there be cases in this C part?
Cases, no, there will be a single case.
Ma'am, because it will depend on the elasticity, whether it is
No,
elastic
here
or
you have to
inelastic.
assume, no, yes, but here you have to just assume that it is elastic or and on behalf of your assumption, you have to explain why you are assuming. Museum, whether it is a necessary, if it is a necessary good, the demand is inelastic. If it is not so necessary, then demand is elastic. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
then draw the diagram and think.
Ma'am, it should be always elastic because it is not a necessary.
Generally, yes. And if it is elastic, then which one is good? Increase price or decrease price? Because two things are working in the opposite direction on your total revenue. No, one is increase in price, which is good. Another is decrease in quantity, which is bad. Think of it and then give the answer. Think. You need some time.